right, everyone in uh, chat. I'm about to go live. I just had to. I noticed we had the wrong title, so I had to do a start stop. So I'm going to turn on Jim Davis's microphone and take us in. Three,
Hey.
2, 1. Hey, here we are. Daisy and Jim talking some Fading Suns.
You. Yes.
So, as always, this stream is sponsored by Ulisses Spiele. They're good friends of ours. Do check out the crowdfunding campaign, and if you've already supported it, consider sharing that link on the social medias and with friends, family, and anyone else you think would be interested in the game. So tonight you're going to see part 2, and as part of this pre-show, I wanted to talk with Jim about how actions work in Fading Suns and a little bit about the victory point system, if possible, if that's all right with you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So I figured the best way to do this would be I'm going to ask questions. No, and we're going to score. We did that.
Right. Pop
When
quiz.
I was hosting Ulysses Con, they had me actually. I actually took our WebDM bot and programmed a trivia game, a Torg trivia game. Some of those questions were really hard.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so hope you all are having a good weekend and hope you're
Yeah.
going to enjoy this show. So Jim, if I'm playing Fading Suns and I'm in a scene, what are some things that I can do as a character that would engage with the mechanics, or if you're running the game, you feel like we might need to engage with actions, maneuvers, skills, etc. And then how does
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
resolve?
Yeah. So it's like I found that Fading Suns keeps it pretty simple and presents a robust system for play where, like, on the surface level, all you need to know is it's roll under, sort of like Price is Right rules. You want to get equal to or lower than your goal number, which is expressed as a number from anywhere from usually 2 to 20, but sometimes like 1 to 20 or sometimes less. And that generates a number of points that you then use to turn that successful roll into a victory. And depending on what it is, whether it's an opponent that has taken some sort of action to defend themselves, or something about the environment that provides that resistance. But the basics of the systems are: you roll the die. If it's under your goal number or equal to it, you have that many victory points that you then use to spend to enhance that victory. And then from there, it really like takes that simplicity and adds on to it for the parts of the game that like really benefit from having extra layers. So you can just run a scene where you're like, okay, I want this stat plus this skill, and that's going to generate a goal number. Give me that roll. But then Fading Sun says, well, there's some things that your characters are going to do a lot. We've anticipated, given the genre of play this is and the like they're going to do this a lot. So we've provided guidelines for how you handle certain aspects of actions, and that's where maneuvers come in. Gives you a framework for like, what does success mean? What can I do with my victory points? Like, and as far as I can tell, they take this like all kinds of directions from like extra damage on attacks to like influencing people and inflicting various states and things on them, or like learning things about the world or NPCs and the like. It's really intricate, and every time I look at it, it's like I'm surprised by something else and learn something new.
Yeah, that's sort of my goal over the next week, because I really want to do a deep dive into sort of how do I spend my victory points, or maybe how do I clearly um, uh, attack the scene. When I say attack the scene, I'm not even necessarily referring to combat. It's just in an RPG, it's like, okay, I have these resources. My character can do certain things. Is there a way I can leverage the rules to create an outcome or situation that is interesting or desirable for me?
Certainly.
In a
And
game like Good Society, you just have resource tokens and you pay them, and then you pay them to other people, though, and then they get them, and then they can use them. In a game like Fading Suns, it seems to be tied a lot to what's on my sheet, and I actually think I have a copy of my character sheet right here. So I'm using
yeah,
a Pregen the Schemer from the player kit. You can purchasable through Ulysses.
Also got that
And
handy action booklet that summarizes a lot of this information
yeah,
too.
I
Yeah.
took some screenshots of it and I was going to drop it in our Discord for the game. But yeah, and then it describes like maneuvers and attacks that I can do, say in combat. I also noticed that
Mhm.
like it caps how much VP I can have. I can't have an infinite
Yeah.
amount. Like I can only have
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. Some of it you like have to spend immediately. Some of it you can bank and store for later use. And I'm assuming I don't know, and this is one of the rules that I hope to get into the next time we play is like the difference between like I've got banked VP. Can I use it to enhance my resistance, even if I haven't taken a dodge to generate VP specifically
Mm-hmm.
for that? Like little things like that that I still have questions about. But like what I love about the system is that it tells a story with the roll. If your roll is I succeeded, I got under my goal number, but I didn't generate enough victory points to overcome the resistance, then that's like that moment where you hit, but it's a glancing, attack. Your weapon slides off their armor. You just barely miss them, and then like what you do with the victory points, if you generate enough, like further enhances that and gives you so much control over the outcome of it that I think it's really quite elegant and produces some really cool results.
So we talked a little bit about victory points and how they can be used in actions. What about the weird points, the WYRD?
Yeah, I'm still getting a handle on these. So when you crit, you get a weird point, and as I understand it, they are used in a much more like less rigidly defined
Pull it up.
way. I'm gonna go see. Let's pull up the.
Yeah. So
I believe
on
that's in
page
the.
page 22, I've got the physical book here just so you can
That's the
see. This
characters
is
book.
yeah, the physical character
There it
book.
is.
And so on page weird points are a special type of victory point that betoken the mysterious currents of fate, providence, and even the occult. Adventurers in the era of the fading suns uh, live in a universe of mysterious and miraculous occurrences and incredible feats that defy all odds. To represent this touch of destiny, certain effects in the game bestow weird points instead of regular VP. They are represented in gameplay by special tokens, which distinguish them from regular VP. If you're using glass beads for VP, then use a different color. Or if you're, I love Bill Bridges writing here. If you're using
Yeah,
M&Ms, make sure that you use a different color M&M. And it's like, oh, thank
I
you.
love it. Thank
And
you.
then, yeah, then the ends with better yet. You can use the official weird tokens produced by
Right.
Ulysses. Good on you, Bill. And then as we dive a little deeper, they share the same well, and then here's how you
Mhm.
gain them. Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Whenever
to
you
gain them in
contribute a
more than one way.
particularly notable moment, you can, or yeah, the GM will award you uh,
Mhm.
one or more weird points, and they go into the troop coffer. Whenever you roll a critical hit, you gain one, and then certain perks allow you to convert VP to WP.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you can store them in the bank. It takes up the
Transfer them to
same
the bank.
amount of space
Yeah.
as a single VP, and then you can use them to make a roll favorable. You can convert them into 3 victory points.
Mhm.
Um,
You access certain powers, like supernatural
yeah,
powers, it seems like.
cult
And then
powers.
there's this big the fourth bullet point on that spinning weird is one of my favorites because it gives the players in DM so much permission to let their imagination run wild with these like twist fate and probability in your favor, let you perform actions that might otherwise be considered outrageous or wildly improbable, such as like amazing stunts seen in action movies, that kind of thing. Like I see these as where you can start like temporarily changing the genre of game
Mm-hmm.
you're in, where you're just like, okay, I know we were kind of playing a gritty political intrigue and space kind of role, but this is a moment where I want to go and
Space pirates.
be in a space pirate action movie for a minute and just to have a moment. So I really like that. It leaves a lot of room for you to use these weird points.
Here's a question. Are you using intrigues and escapades at all in our campaign?
I have looked at it,
Okay.
but it's been one of those things where these rulebooks are so like dense with hooks and advice and just stuff to use that I haven't even scratched the surface of what's in the core three. I cracked it open and was like, I could see if I was running a longer game, this would be very invaluable. But for what we were doing, I haven't dug in because I didn't want to get too distracted.
Yeah, I is this 5 year another system? So, chat, this is a system. It's actually the Victory Point system. It is the
Mhm.
game Fading Suns by Ulisses Spiele. It is a game that has gone through about 5 editions itself. From there's LARPs of it, the Passion Play. There's actually a friend of ours, the paleontologist, or a friend of mine, Trevor. Um, uh, Tattoos and Bones from Twitter. He's been all over. He's a prolific um uh like he was actually like the supervisor at the La Brea Pits at one point, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur guy. And like yeah, he was actually a play tester for the original LARP and the original game.
Awesome.
Back in the day, yeah. Hoping we can have him on a series because he's very close to Fading Suns. But there was a video game that was released, I believe, in the 90s, yes,
Mhm.
called Empire of the Fading Suns.
Mhm.
And they needed a world to be built for it. So they hired, from White Wolf, Bill Bridges. I hope I get the history right. Don't judge me if I fail. But they hired Bill Bridges, and people started to notice there was kind of this White Wolf flavor in the world building and the world, and they also were licensed to do an RPG at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they came out and came forward with uh, Fading Suns. The rule sets have gone through a couple different versions. There was a D20 version, I think, in like 2003 or
Mhm.
2001.
That was when I first got it, came on my radar. Was like, oh, there's a, it was in the big D20 boom.
Yeah, and so we're excited tonight. In about 15 minutes, we're going to play episode 2. If you're unfamiliar with the system, I think you'd still totally enjoy watching the gameplay. And if you're interested in supporting the new product line and the new books that are coming out, the Fading Suns New Frontiers crowdfunding campaign is going on Game on Tabletop right now. They're currently a little over $50,000. And definitely check out the books. You can get a like an introductory guide on for free on Drive Through RPG. Uh, in fact, I think I can link that if anyone wants to
Mhm.
see that Drive Through RPG. Um, if you want to look at all the books, actually, here's a quick way to do it. If I click on Ulysses Spiele, actually, since they have the rights to it, they have everything. Ooh, an art and layout pack. That's what I want. It's the
Yeah.
current edition too. It's like
Sweet.
that would have made making these overlays much easier. But okay, there's the play kit, intrigue and escapades, the rule books. It's in there,
Oh,
y'all. You'll just have to, if you want to browse the product line. Uh,
yeah.
I'll just link to the drive-through. It's a bit overwhelming because there's a lot of stuff in there, but do check it out. You can find the free introduction to the Fading Suns universe. Um, Likewise, they have the core books available, and do check out the crowdfunding campaign, um, which again I'll link once more. Because supporting them supports us. It lets us put on these shows.
Absolutely.
Good folks over at Ulysses. They've invited us to participate in Ulysses Con, where cast members from these shows, such as Emma, um, Happy Caster, Maria Moore, the Noir Enigma, who's playing in this series, myself, they had us all out to play Torg and the Dark Eye, and we're hoping to play more Fading Suns on stream as well. Um, do check out those links. Even just clicking on the links helps us. Um, Via support. So
Hmm. Hmm.
back to the universe of Fading Suns.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot. Out of the factions you've sort of explored so far, what are some that kind of stand out to you as interesting?
really enjoy a lot of like the little minor factions and the like. Actually, like I know it's like sort of bypass the big ones that your characters make, but
I
there's
know.
a lot of like world building and just interesting tidbits that I found when looking through some of the minor factions. But looking at like say the big ones between the nobles, the church, and the merchants guilds, like I dig a like the medieval space fantasy vibe to it. So having like a proper nobility that is, these are warrior aristocrats. They're part of a very conservative sort of society that they're these, the one of the central pillars of. And because of that, like I find that there's so much conflict and tension built into it that you can really run a lot of fun and engaging styles of game with it. So all of the noble houses is really fun. I think my favorite though might either be the Hazat or the Ducados. Like they, from my understanding of the background setting, they're sort of like we're the losers in this
Yeah.
emperor, this emperor war, kind of like who's going to be the emperor of this human galaxy kind of thing, or human
Yeah.
galactic empire.
My
And
character is Hazat too, and it's just like, just know your house was betrayed by everyone on all sides. So it's like,
right, yeah, but especially the Hazard because they're like they were on the losing side of this war. They're in the middle of like a kind of conquest of space versus another sort of human civilization that's rough technological parity with them, and they're like they've got to prove their loyalty to the emperor, but also are in this tight spot of having their own troubles and difficulties and going on. So it's just at every level, no matter where you go with these factions, there's a conflict. There's something you can use or the like. So even though it has on its surface level has this feeling of like, man, this setting has so much in it. How am I ever going to absorb it all or get to it? What I found was that when I started approaching the lore and looking at it, realized it was very gameable, very accessible. It's not a bunch of background detail that the players are never going to see or you can't build an adventure with. It's very much like this is the conflict and adventure that's inherent in this setting, and we have so much of it. It's all over the place. You're not gonna, be able to turn a page without getting 2 or 3 adventure hooks.
yeah, it's not to reference some of the other systems, but it reminds me a lot when I look at the book similar to like the Dark Eye. It's like you could open the weapons supplement for the
Mhm.
Dark Eye, which is literally just like, here's the equipment list, and we're gonna take every item of of equipment that's in the rulebook, and we're gonna give it its own page in a supplement, and we're gonna
Yep.
give you the history. Say it's a sword. It's like, here's every type of sword that is made on the continent, and we're gonna break it down by region, how the sword is different, how it's made, the type of people that become sword makers, where they fit into society, how the
Mhm.
sword is held, and then they're going to give subtle, sort of orthogonal, lateral, mechanical variations between all the swords. And then here are some custom sword fighting rules if you don't want to use the combat rules and you want to do a sword fight. We've written.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, it's like, okay, if I just look at this, there's like at least 10 adventure hooks
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's,
on
it's
a
the same with
page.
Fading Suns. There's
Yeah.
like an addendum to the character book that's just like starship stuff. And I'm looking through it because I wanted to have a good understanding of the technology level for the Imperial escort, cutter that the group has. And I'm looking at it, it's like, here's just a little section that tells you the different ways that someone who wanted to get on board this ship would take to get to the bridge. And like just the gift to a DM or to a GM running this game that is that okay, I'm setting a scene on one of these ships. It's supposed to be high action. I don't want to bust out a map. I don't want to have to track movement accurately or whatever. I want to keep up a fast pace, scene to scene, moment to moment kind of thing. And here's this little thing that goes, they could take the aft access point up through the crew quarters into, navigation and then the bridge, or this and that and that. Here's how they get to engineering. And you're like, well, I'll be it's little things like it's little touches like that that every time I open a Ulysses Spiele game, I find myself just like, man, that's cool.
Yeah, and where I think it's interesting as well is just each of these games that we've played on the channel, they're all different mechanically by far. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, yeah, very different.
completely different, robust systems that works particularly with the game it's trying to run. Like I was sitting with someone, a game designer friend yesterday. Hi Maria, good to see you. Uh, Henry kill us in chat. Sorry, Henrik. Um, uh, Wants to tell you, Jim, that they love your work and everything
Oh,
you do for
thank
the
you.
RPG community.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And for that, I'm banning Jim from the call. No,
Right. Get
how
out of here.
dare you be good?
How very dare you.
So yeah, like we noticed with Torg's like a card game. It's like, oh, we're in a scene, the villain's there. I'm playing the card that makes the villain fall in love with me, and just
Yeah.
switches the whole scene around.
It changes it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the dice is a logarithmic d20 scale where but I was talking with my game designer friend about the dark eye, and I was just like, I like that I roll 3 dice and I read them left to right, and that
Yeah.
either tells me how I fail or lets me know I need to spend points, and then the result is tied to quality levels. And if you're reading a published adventure, those quality levels mean very different things. Like I ran a number of one shots on the channel, and some of them were
Mm.
based on adventures, and it's like I was describing it to my friend, and I know this is a Fading Sun stream, and we'll get to that. But I do want to talk about just the product line, how robust it is, by talking about the differences in the system. So I was like, give me something you might try to do in an RPG that's skill based, that's not combat. He goes, craft a ring. It's like you could roll, and then like if it's quality level 5, it's like this ring is now a beautiful ring of legend.
Yeah.
If people see you wearing this ring, they're going to assume that you are a noble. Or maybe quality level 2, it's like you could sell this ring for 3 times the value. And
Yep.
maybe you fail, it's like, well, you wasted materials and resources in 3 days. Got a
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's not like a 12-page subsystem that you've got to like take a long break during the session to wrap your head
No.
around. It's just a thing and a chart. And yeah, they're very usable at the table. And that's back to Fading Sun. That's similarly how I felt. Like the things that they want the GM to do during prep, of like thinking of your session in terms of scenes, who's in that scene, what is the dramatic tension in that moment, like is and so for the game you guys are about to enjoy, like there's a lot of it that's like, will we perform and uphold the duties that are sort of inherent here? Like nobody's asked us to do anything, but do we have an obligation? And like for me, I found those very helpful, because like when I prep, I have a tendency to just go deep dive into useless shit that I don't need, like because I'm like, oh god, what if
Not
they
that
do
I've
this?
ever looked at your notes.
Right? Yeah,
Throw
yeah,
back to the cipher system Land Between Two Rivers, where I was just like,
yeah,
holy cow, this is Jim
yeah.
Davis on 23
What's going
pages.
on? Yeah, what's going on here? But like it's a way of forcing, like, this is what's really going to matter, this is what the players are going to remember. And so like that's what I found with all their games, is like they really know what kind of game they're making, and are able to present something that like gets you in the mindset and supports it with rules. And that's always the thing of beauty.
And I really like both the physical and the PDF copies of the book. All their product lines is really top notch. Like, and they're organized well and easy to navigate and get through.
Mhm.
Likewise, free kickstarts or quick starts for like every system.
Yeah.
And like most of the designers are pretty cool. They've been around for like a long time, from Dale Hayhurst to Greg Gordon. I started in the WEG D6 Star Wars, and like Greg was one of the designers on that.
Hmm.
Or Bill
Hmm.
Bridges, Vampire the Masquerade. Timothy Brown, who's the head of Ulysses International, designed Dark Sun. So it's like these are folks that have been around the industry for a long time and are still around and still innovating and making new content.
Yeah. It's cool to see that. I was curious about the White Wolf connection, because there's a lot of like tech, sort of like statements on technology, kind of like that I found parallels between a lot of the early White Wolf stuff and Fading
Mm-hmm.
Suns, like the dangers of technology, or technosis may be something we have to get into next session to
Yeah.
see, just to see what's up.
So, all right, we're going to get ready for the show. Jim, it was great chatting with you.
Always a
Uh,
pleasure.
Again, I'm going to drop the link to the current crowdfunding campaign in chat. Do check it out. you'll learn more about the game that we're about to play, as well as an opportunity to support and expand the product line. So this has been Jim Davis and Daisy Plays, and we will see you next week for the finale of our Fading Suns miniseries. Stay tuned for episode 2. I almost said goodbye, but we have a show to put on. Bye. All right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to WebDM Plays. I am Jim Davis, one of the hosts of WebDM. And hey, everybody. Welcome to WebDM Plays. I am Jim Davis, one of the hosts of WebDM and the DM for today's game of Fading Suns. We are here diving into a little 3-shot of some courtly intrigue and escapades. But before we get into that, let's talk to the players, see how they're doing, and who they're playing this session. Megan, why don't you start us off?
Oh, get to go first. Hello. I am Megan. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Mila Hawkwood, who also uses she, her pronouns, and she is a princess, but would rather just draw maps and like travel around the universe and not do princessy things, but you know.
For sure.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if what she gets to do, if she has to do princessy things or she gets to just do fun travel map making stuff. I don't think it's gonna be that.
A princess can dream.
She sure can. She sure does.
Right. Exactly. Awesome. And Maria, how are you doing?
I am so fantastic. How are you, Jim?
Doing good. Thank you.
Yay. Well, I'm Maria. I use they and she pronouns. Today I am playing Vencia Delacroix, who also uses they and she pronouns. Vencia is a bodyguard to a princess who wants to go draw maps all the time.
What are the chances of them being two?
What? I know it's wild up in here. But they are somewhat stoic. They don't really have a funny bone in them too often, but they have a lot of weapons, and so it's okay.
They make up for it in other
ways. Yeah.
Daisy, why don't you go take his name next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Daisy Darling Ellis. My pronouns are she, her, and my character, Baronet Vanessa Rousseau, also uses she, her pronouns. I was just talking with Jim Davis on the pre-show where we were probably talking about the validity of the pike and shot military formation in 19th century Belgium. However, I'm playing the schemer of the party, and I am here to essentially be the bad girl of the pilgrimage.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely, let's do it. And Noir, why don't you close this out here?
Hey everybody, I'm playing Warwick Dane, a brother brother battle brother. One of them. Your spicy Spock. I don't have a lot of weapons. I only have the one I need.
Yeah.
Fuck your shots early. I'm just kidding. You know I love you.
Awesome. Absolutely. And may I say, the best name for a character, hands down. Just like everything you need to know, Warwick Dane. There we go. All right. I love it. In case you're joining us and haven't seen our first episode, we'll give you guys a little recap. When we last had a chance to get together and play, we were on board the imperial escort cutter Bucephalon, which was the personal ship of one imperial princess, Mila Hawkwood, who travels around the galaxy and does cartography-ish sorts of things. And they got an urgent missive from someone higher up in the family, which can't be that many more above Mila, honestly, and said to divert course to the planet of Gwyneth. There was an important diplomatic ceremony that needed a delicate touch and an imperial presence there. And so the party diverted course and headed towards Gwyneth, which is a sort of a planet that has lots of limestone caverns throughout its crust, lots of forests which cover it. It's fairly prosperous and populous, but in these years since the Civil War has quieted down, it's not been the one that's made out the best of all of the Hawkwood holdings. So this diplomatic mission was quite important. And when the party got there, they found out that the person who was supposed to be handling this had gone missing. And after a bit of sworn testimony in front of a brother battle, for only they are the ones who can assuage the honor of a poor old body servant in a rustic noble's manner. They found out that this wayward Hawkwood had been seen with some strange characters around the estate and a nearby township, and it disappeared rather suddenly and under mysterious circumstances about 5 days before the party's arrival. And I believe we had left off, everyone was in the, excuse me, everyone's in the rooms that they had given over to you to stay in at Lady Vilma's estate. But at some point in the evening, Baronet Vanessa, had been alone with Lady Vilma and Lord Ian Wild Hawkwood, as well as some of the others, while the princess had excused herself and the rest of the nobles continued to dine. And conversation started with discussions of the ceremony, its importance, and slowly became more and more about the political tensions and mutinies amongst various regiments stationed throughout the planet that have been sort of popping up in little wildcat insurrections.
How dreadful.
Indeed. This is Lord Ian.
What is the family's plan, Lord Ian, to take care of this, and how might I be of assistance?
Well, so we had no intention of involving yourself beyond this ceremony tomorrow. Be able to handle it here. This rabble is nothing more but forest folk. We'll be able to mop them up quite quickly for the Yuletide festival.
Well, that is one would never doubt that a great lord such as yourself, with such abundant resources, you feel you are adequately equipped. You don't anticipate many or any losses?
Some losses, of course. That's to be expected, acceptable. No, these regiments that have mutinied, they need to understand that just because they don't get what they want immediately, they can't just go on and turn their coats like this. Just wait.
No.
He's just getting, he's clearly from the old school. There's a I'm not that familiar with the character sheet yet, but there's like a sort of perception or like read the room type ability.
Read the room.
Seems like Vanessa would have something like that.
I do. So one, I've got some
Intuition,
knowledge.
something.
Yeah, I've got some knowledge. I've got some pretty high intuition, and I have very high perception as well. Likewise, I'm skilled in the customs of the court, as well as knowledge about Hawkwoods.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see. This is definitely like a perception type instead of like an intuition type thing.
Okay.
And it feels like if you like that it's more about the interplay between the different social dynamics here. Like this guy, Lord Hawkwood, is running his mouth off about it. Most of the other nobles are keeping quiet and not saying much other than nodding or mm-hms.
So here's a question too, like, and then as far as my skills that might go with this, as opposed to my capabilities, would this be an observe?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good observation.
observe plus perception. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
Target 13.
Pull up here.
I did it.
Very good. And that's, you got 4 victory points. I believe that lets you raise it by 1 level if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I think just to sort of raise the impact of it. So both Lady Vilma and her man-at-arms, like they're her sort of person responsible for security out here in the sticks, are like, they're keeping their mouths shut because this is a guest and this is a powerful guest. But it is clear from their body language and sort of the way they're trying to divert conversation towards something else that that they disagree with Lord Hawkwood.
Well, not to kindle the fires, but good Lady Vilma, do you affirm the good Lord Ian's assessment? Speak honestly.
I don't question his wisdom, but I don't think that he understands the entire situation. Within the last 2 days myself, we've had several of our folk report something strange. Skirmishes with the insurgents and our own soldiery report weapons of terrible destruction that they've brought with them, the likes of which only heard tales of. Weapons that fire beams of light and explosions of fire. It's not anything that we have the capacity to face.
No, in fact, I would say it's not proportional to the output of force that you're demonstrating. It's the it is an act of terror and likely to lead to escalation. Do you disagree, Lord Ian?
Of course, it will escalate. This is war. It's fine. We will be able to handle a little surprise from now and then. He seems more, like he learned something he didn't know and is on the defensive. The squire seems as if he's ready to speak up, and Lady Vilma gives him a nod. This is Sir Douglas. Excuse me, I must say this is whatever is going on with the ceremony, and it must be put on hold. There is something seriously wrong here. There are people seen wandering in the woods between here and the township, strangers carrying things no one's ever seen before. There's people who've gone missing. It's not just Valentin. You'll excuse me. I know this is very important. I cannot keep it shut any longer.
You are a bold young man, Sir Douglas, to speak so freely and openly here in the court. I admire your candor and bravery. What does the Lord say?
I have an outpost not far from here. If there's more reinforcements needed, we can call upon them there. It seems like he wants to talk about it anymore. It's around this time that they come and get Warwick has heard Pavel's confession. And,
I slink away into the shadows.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go check on the princess. Sometimes she needs a little bit of help with the dessert outfit.
Dessert outfit. It's terribly difficult to get into.
Let me walk out.
Flash forward.
Yeah.
Present.
I know something you don't know.
How much do you share any of it?
Yes.
I'm going to share all of it.
We'll pick it up like right where we left off last time. So it's like Warwick is just, not like said
Told us
like,
everything.
yeah, like not spilled the beans, but sort of like filled you in on the details that his vow will allow for, and outlined sort of like a plan of looking at certain locations about what clues there might be there.
And I just let loose with everything. Strange weapons, beams of light, explosions of fire, missing persons. Very well could include our good man Valentin.
Oh, dude, I can't hear you, Megan.
Yeah,
She's thinking.
He's like, yeah, I'm thinking. You can't hear the wheels. So when we got here, when we landed and we went to pick up the present at the port, there was another very large box that was addressed to the Hawkwoods, not me. And then they got like very weird about it. If they say that they're bringing some weapons and other unsavory things onto the planet, maybe that's connected? Maybe?
Perhaps it could be. I'm curious as to exactly what these no offense backwater Hawkwoods would use such a shipment or such a gift. I fear that it's going to be an escalation in the conflict, perhaps a bioterror weapon. I'm nervous.
I don't like we just came here to find my cousin and then we were just supposed to go. So if this is like us getting tangled into some greater conflict.
Consider this, Highness. If this is speculation to start with. If your cousin has gone missing, if this delivery that they were so very hesitant to let us have is secure enough, is at least filled with the security that we saw there. If it was addressed to the Hawkwoods, is there a possibility that your cousin is not missing but left of his own accord to do something such as aid in this insurrection? And if so, the name Hawkwood is still attached to you. This is a smaller place, but the name still holds weight.
I mean, I've never met him, so I can't really speak to his character or motivations or anything like that, but I guess you are right that Hawkwood is a Hawkwood even all the way out here, so we can't really very well go have him making a mess of the family. So, what do we do next?
I look to Brother Warwick.
Warwick looks back, then looks at Mila. What's the original objective of your trip?
Oh, I'm here to draw a map. Well, I was going to draw a map, and then my mother sent me a letter, says that I need to bring a present here, and then also said that my cousin was missing. I don't know if she ever said to go find my cousin. I think it was more like deliver this present because your cousin messed things up by absconding from all of this. I feel like this is all a little beyond my ken.
When planning for this trip, did you at any point intend to enter into intergalactic intrigue?
No.
Did you arm yourself for intergalactic intrigue?
I brought Vanessa.
So no. Did you prepare yourself for intergalactic intrigue?
I'm fireproof, Brother Warwick. I did come armed.
I
I
simply.
also brought Vencia.
So no.
Sorry.
There's like 5 palace guards on the ship too that could be armed.
I'm more of a thinker.
The quickest way to defeat is to stretch beyond your original intentions. If you were not prepared for war, don't enter a war.
Well, I was neither prepared for war nor do I want to enter one. So are you saying that we can just go?
My orders are to protect you. Wherever you go, I go. If
I'm gonna look. Sorry,
you
go
make-
ahead.
if you make the decision to enter something that you are wholly unprepared for, then my blade will keep you protected while you do so.
I won't say wholly unprepared. But I'm gonna look at Vanessa and be like, does that mean we can go?
No. We are honor bound and duty bound to your family's good name. Curious about your mother's relationship with these distant Hawkwoods. Whether it's more friendly or frenemy. But I think we don't have to enter a war. We just move around it and through the edges. Label it a police action. We can just kind of slip through the war-torn surroundings and avoid the conflict. Civilians do it every day.
So a war in all but name.
Yes. But we wouldn't be
That still
doing
counts
anything
as war.
illegal. Not if we include ourselves as civilian non-combatants.
I mean, I'm definitely that.
Vencia squirms a little bit.
War is just the street we're meeting on. But we just need to
No
make
one would
sure
ever
that...
want an imperial princess in the middle of a war zone.
No, not at all. In fact, I think we should disguise ourselves. Travel under aliases.
Bad idea.
On a note, Brother Warwick, you mentioned not entering something that you are not prepared with or prepared for. If you come out of that in that interaction, and if you go into something you are not prepared for and you come out victorious, is that not better?
I can neither enter a situation or be victorious. I am simply a weapon of the church. The church is prepared for all things, and so they will always be victorious.
Then I was not speaking about you. You seem to have no allegiances one way or the other. Therefore, I don't know how much your opinion should matter in this case.
My opinion shouldn't matter. Everything that I believe, every thought that I have, every instinct that has been forged in me, you can find in our tongues.
How terrible it is not to think for yourself. And I'll look to Mila and say, I've been with your family for a very long time, Highness. I've protected you, I've protected others in your house, and I wish to protect your name as well. And if for some reason either your cousin has gone missing under terrible circumstances or by their own volition, they're involved in something that is going to slander or squander your family's name or livelihood in any sense of the matter, I think we should deal with it before we leave.
Well, know I always value your opinion very much, and if you're feeling that passionately about it, then I guess maybe we should dig in a little bit.
There's an
If you
outpost
think.
not far from here.
Oh, is there? Okay. Should we go there?
It would ultimately be your call, but we might find out if Valentin had spent any time there, and if anyone saw which way he kind of wandered off, or was in any sort of conflict with him.
By the outpost and the town that Pavel was talking about last time are the same place.
Okay.
Oh. I mean, we don't really have any other leads, so if we are going to look into this, that's probably a good place to start. Is it far?
Haven't a clue. I think if we ask Sir Douglas, the squire, bold fellow, strong legs, he might be able to give us directions.
Yep. Looks like a 4th level D&D character.
It's a weird way to describe someone. Okay.
It's an honest one.
Well, you generally are very honest in your descriptions of people, so all right, let's go talk. Or do you want to go talk to him and then come back and tell everybody what's going on, or should we all go?
I recommend sending Vencia.
Oh, Vencia, you are very good at talking to people.
Vencia says nothing.
Dessert, like y'all are missing dessert also.
A woman of my station might intimidate the lad. A princess and the good brother and all of us might frighten him off. But Vencia is both strong and striking, and on par with one in his station. There will be a sociality that's shared that he might open up and be willing to assist with.
Are you okay with that?
If this is what you would ask of me, Highness, I will do it.
But like, do you want to? I don't, I don't want to like make you do things.
You flatter me with your consideration. I will do it.
Okay, if you're sure.
There's like a shadow of a smile as she just like kind of tips her head. That maybe Brother War. I mean, the others who would definitely probably notice it. She's trying to hide it.
Like, there's just the smallest shaking of Warwick's head. Just this whole situation is.
This is a mess.
Meanwhile, Vanessa's like, the Hazat were betrayed on all sides by all families. Our day of reckoning is... No, she's...
I'm hearing that Vencia is going to go and seek out Sir Douglas to get the rundown, and that everyone else is going to hang back and fill me in on whatever else is going to do.
Are we going to get to... You had mentioned disguises. Are we going to get disguises? We're going to dress up?
I think we should travel as Hazats. You should travel as Hazats. Travel as my entourage.
Absolutely not.
No! I wish you could be my bodyguard.
It's like, I don't think that's a great idea.
By right and decree, I cannot change my garment.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Baronet's plans are falling down around her.
Fine.
Guys, a lot more
It's just I have very
be looking at Battle Brothers.
really awkward features, so like I don't really think that I could like.
Vanessa's gonna disguise as a page boy. There we go.
It's all of us.
Do your classic tuck the hair up into the hat.
Yep.
3
Those
charcoal
wonders.
brothers and a brother battle.
Mila already
Chim
doesn't
chimney,
dress
chim
like
chim.
a princess, so she's just probably like, I'm just gonna wear whatever I wear.
Oh my god.
Fine.
Notice.
Vency would offer to give you something a little more discreet.
Oh, she would get so psyched. Be like, we can match. It'll be great.
Twinsies.
All right. So everybody else is going to spend the rest of the evening getting stuff together
Dessert.
for disguises and eat some dessert. Yeah,
The
they're
real D&D, desserts and disguises.
absolutely, absolutely.
Like a good society hack.
Yes. Remind me the name of the person I'm talking to and the specifics about what I'm
Sir
talking to them
Douglas.
about. Okay.
Yeah, Sir Douglas.
Fantastic.
Any information about Valentin, the outpost nearby, how to get there,
how close
Okay.
it is, how to get there, how to go
Okay.
about
key
getting
players
there.
in town. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yes. Okay. All right. For some reason, my brain was like, "Who is Sir Douglas? Who is this person?" It's the
Squire.
the right hand
Squire,
person.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Got it. Me, but here.
Yes.
I remember. I remember now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think last time Bency had gotten like a vibe of a similar wavelength from themselves, like from Douglas, like so somebody who's made themselves useful to power.
Fantastic. Oh, good. All right. Cool.
And yeah, desserts and dinners. Tucking in to second dessert or something like that. I mean, the feast is going to go on for a while because it's supposed to be there's ostensibly supposed to be slow down for a second, celebrating something like noteworthy, but obviously not all is well. And the talk is of just factions and this war band and that war band. Everybody here is local. They all have their sort of both their hometown loyalties and their sort of acquired loyalties that they've had over the years. And so there's just you can tell it's heated, and that both Sir Douglas and Lord Ian are like, they're ready to go do something like right now. They're not ready to sleep on this. They're like itching and let's do it.
Good.
Right. So that's where
Similar vibes.
that's the scene we enter into then.
I think maybe after a little bit of like deserting, Vencia would stand, if they were seated at the table, they would stand up and make their way over to where Sir Douglas is, whether they are seated or standing or wherever they are.
It's there's like 2 or 3 different tables. There's a lot of people in here, right?
Yeah. And would give a polite like half bow to the table and say, Sir Douglas, is that right?
Sir
Vencia.
Vencia, please have a seat.
Actually, I was wondering if I could request your attention. I wanted to take a walk around, make sure that everything was fine I'm sure everything is fine, but I wanted to make sure to get a lay of the land from someone who is familiar
with your own
here.
eyes,
of course, yes.
Let's go. We'll have a walk around. Have you ever seen Gwyneth nighttime?
I've seen somewhere similar, but no.
Interesting. They have like these crazy auroras from the proximity of their two suns. So outside at night, there is this sort of like polychromatic rainbow aurora that plays towards the north from where you are, and sort of like casts everything in this sort of twilight glow. And it's you and Sir Douglas. He's very matter of fact, business-like kind of guy. But this is a medieval, like this pre-industrial world for the most part. They have the big cities are electrified, but place out here, there's like maybe a generator that powers something, but for the most part, this is a pretty rustic and like I said, pre-industrial way of life. They've done the best they can. If somebody comes up here with blaster rifles and big bombs and tanks and things, they're just gonna get run over.
I think on whatever walk that they're doing, I think that Vencia humors him, correct?
Yeah.
Vencia humors him for a little bit. As perhaps he's, pointing out different things. And wherever he is in the conversation, she'll just interject. I heard that there's been some strange goings on lately. Beyond that of a certain missing Hawkwood.
So, well, whatever you heard or wherever you heard it from, they speak the truth. There are off-worlders in the woods to the north of here. I've seen them myself more than a week ago. I know the stable boy did, and I think that's who Pavel saw.
I look around at that like obvious discomfort, and we're the only two people here, and I say, Sir Douglas, we can speak honestly to each other. I hear many things, but I speak very little.
Good. Say there was something not right with him. He was always a bit of an ass. Spoiled. Failure, if I'm speak really, but he never seemed destructive, vindictive, just an idiot. And then little things, undermining, could pass it off as an accident or something, but after a while, it seemed deliberate, just trying to make a mess of things. That's what I found out about him. After this business with the meeting people, it was very different. He didn't talk much, wasn't around. Used to like to pester the staff, servants get in their way, that kind of thing. But they seemed driven, the purpose. Never seen him like that in all the year he was here. Something changed him.
You said that he met with a stable hand. Is that correct?
Stable boy saw them.
Okay.
Many of us did. Many of us have seen him, yes.
Many of you saw him meeting with people? Is that what you're saying?
Coming and going, yes. But only Pavel and the stable boy, I think, saw them. There was always talk. Rarely anyone can keep a secret around here.
Small communities don't exactly breed anonymity.
But yes, there's nothing in those woods but people that want to be left alone, old caves. There's no reason to go in there. No reason to go hunting. Nothing worth it. Never even enjoyed the outdoors. Why would he? Something's not. He's just like, you can tell this is someone who's like out of their depth. They've like had their conspiracy moment and hit the wall of I can't go up against the cops kind of thing or something. And is just sort of at this point more venting to Vencia than anything.
Good. That's a great place to be at. I understand that you're in a bit of a unique situation in that you apparently wish to do something about this situation, and yet due to your station and the closeness of your station to those who wish to do nothing, you don't seem to be able to do anything. Is that right?
My mistress trusts my word. If I say that we should lend our aid to some effort, and we will lend it wholeheartedly.
Then why haven't you?
Small. There's not much we can do. If we knew where to be and protect or act, if there was someone here who had a bold plan that they needed assistance with, or someone who was able to know the lay of the land, we'd be able to lend them the entire assistance of the matter.
I'm very happy to hear you say those things, because I am someone who wishes to have a plan and needs to know the lay of the things around here.
think we can help each other.
Good. On another note, however, I would ask that you be cautious of our dear brother. He seems to be motivated by nothing, and that concerns me.
He's not motivated by his fervor and devotion.
He says that he is, but I've run into too many people who have lived by a code of devotion and fervor, and have had motives far beyond those. Do with it what you will, but that is my personal recommendation.
Thank you. I'm sure he's ferocious. I'll stay away from him. I probably won't sleep tonight, so if you need me, I'll be around.
This place is beautiful. I hope it stays around for a very long time.
Thanks. Get you one of those. Yep, me too. He walks back inside.
I'll stay outside for a little bit longer, just kind of breathing and taking in the view, and then I'll step inside after a little while.
Okay. That's good. We can kind of like summarize the rest of the night. I'm not sure what kind of plans y'all have or whether y'all intend to get any sleep, how quickly you'd like to move, but we can just sort of like cover that in a narrative summary.
I'd like a moment with Vinci real quick.
Okay.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to have it out? Do you want to have it outside, like before I come in, or later in the day?
I think Ward would be waiting for you in your quarters.
Oh, how terrifying! Oh dear. Okay. Okay. So I think between time out. Daisy, do you want us to wait for you?
No, you're okay. You can keep going. I just got to cam up for a second.
Yeah, you're fine. Between that outdoor dinner dessert moment and going to their quarters, I think they would have at least met with Sir Douglas once to get just some sort of more specific details about the things that people asked me to get information about, like the outpost and the general area around it. Specifics about, like, you know, what sort of things have you noticed about these people? If you specifically have had any sort of altercations or anything, you know, talking more shop and less like trying to make a friend.
Yeah. So I'll summarize kind of what the information gives you, that the strangers are mostly seen, coming to and from a specific spot north of the outpost. It's up in the highlands, not very far from here at all. That they know they're not from around here, even though the outpost is like serves a lot of the rural community as a trading spot, and kind of like people post messages to each other there, kind of those that have paper and can read and write and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But like these are like clearly not from around here. They don't speak the same accents. They don't carry themselves the same way. And so there's been quite a few of them. A lot of them seemed like mercenary types or, ex-military, ex-muster. And then what else? The outpost isn't that far, less than 2 miles, just, kind of down a well-kept dirt road. And so am I missing anything?
I don't think so. Above table, was there anything else that you would have told Vencia to kind of figure out?
No, I think it was mostly we wanted to know how to get there and how far away it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows people who know the forest there well, and he can also like give y'all clothes. Like
okay. More simple type clothes.
Yeah,
okay.
There's like forest cloaks and like rustic style clothes that aren't, that let you sort of blend in.
Okay.
With
awesome.
Local clothes, basically.
Fantastic. Oh, the last thing would be has he or any of his people have they had like literal like fight altercations with them like seen any sort of like the weaponry or whatever sort of technology that they're using, so that we know kind of if we run into them what we are up against.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like this is one of those like montage scene kind of things where you're learning all this, and basically there's just Sir Douglas knows it because he just talks to all the servants, and when they go into the outpost and everything, they're talking to other people, and it's like this, kitchen servant was like, yeah, last time I was there last night, they talked about these weapons that were they're describing. I'm sure Vinci is familiar with energy weapons. They're describing
very much. I have one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they're describing blaster weapons, which are like highly advanced. Like no one on this planet has the capacity to manufacture them.
Right.
Really escalates from like flintlock muskets and bows to sci-fi tech.
Okay. So there are weapons that would be normal for those in our station, like us being the crew.
Oh,
but
yeah.
absolutely abnormal from here. Okay.
Yeah. Not even civilians on the most, like advanced planet would have access to this. It's like military grade technology. Definitely off limits according to church doctrine. And even off limits to those who have an affinity for high tech.
Okay. Awesome. That was I just wanted to make sure I got all that before heading back to encounter whatever this is.
Yeah. You spend like an hour or so talking to people, and again he hooks you up with some some stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Okay. I think Vencia would open. Is the door open when they get there? Okay. Very not cool. Okay. Is it okay? For my head, is it all the way open, or is it just like open, noticeably open?
It's open, noticeably open.
Okay. So there's this moment where they, I think, have some of those like robes and clothes and stuff from Sir Douglas just in one of their arms, and they reach down for the the shock stick that they have strapped on their thigh, and hold that in one hand, and will very slowly just kind of push the door open or to the side with their foot, not having no idea who's going to be in here.
You just see Warwick in the middle of your room, like cross-legged, meditating.
Is your back towards me, or are you facing me?
Oh, he's facing you.
Okay.
Eyes closed.
She'll step in and close the door, put the clothing on a chair or a desk or something. Still have the shock stick out, but definitely like more casual about it. And say, I would say I'm sorry for interrupting you, but you are in my room.
You claim yourself a warrior, and I was wondering, how did you earn it?
Why does it matter to you?
We have the same goal, so at some point I expect to be fighting by your side. How did you earn it?
I earned it by fighting for it every day that I woke up. After I left everything behind. I fought for everything that I earned until things were eventually given to me.
And so do feral cats. How does that make you a warrior?
Aside from feral cats, I have particular goals in mind. More, though, than survival. I've passed surviving. I am where I am. Don't need to survive anymore. Part of me protects people now. Most of me protects myself.
So you aren't a warrior.
What would you call me then?
A thug. There's nothing wrong with being a thug. I simply need to know who I'm fighting alongside.
What would you consider a warrior then? Someone who works nobly for the greater good? Someone like yourself? Mindless? Following some pre-written creed or doctrine?
There is certainty in my strike. There is no hesitation in my movements. I am not divided between protecting myself and advancing my own desires. I am invested.
In what?
In the will of the church.
You've been exceptionally vague on that will ever since you arrived on the ship. You say you're here to protect someone who already has protection.
Yes.
I don't believe you. I don't think you are one to lie, but you are exceptionally good at keeping things from being spoken.
Her current protection is divided between protecting her and advancing your own career. Would you consider that protection? The church does not.
In my mind, so long as the one who I'm in charge of comes out for the better, or in some situations come out at all, yes, that is protection.
Is there any amount of money in this galaxy that could make you turn?
No. I do not do this for money. Never done it for money. Money only goes so far.
Power, influence. Do you protect her because you wish to be her? If you could have her life, would you take it?
Vencia stays silent, but you can see that she's like gripping the shock stick a little bit too much.
I have no doubt you will prove yourself useful in a fight. I look forward to seeing you demonstrate your art.
She stands there and looks at you, staring daggers at you.
It's up. He walks like towards you and like just for a second. Like it's that UFC showdown kind of thing. Then he just reaches, opens the door, sidesteps.
I think before you like sidestep out, Vencia will I think not with the shock stick hand, but the other one. Will very quickly just grab your shoulder very tightly, and say, I may be everything that you said that I am. I may be just a thug. If you walk into my room again without my express permission, I will show you how ruthless I can be.
Just leans over. Have a blessed evening.
I'll let you go.
Walks out.
The door slams behind you. Well, I got goosebumps from that. The energy.
I think that's a good place to have a little break, if you guys mind. I gotta stretch
That
my
sounds
legs.
great. That sounds great.
Let's take like 5 minutes and we'll pick it up from there.
Awesome.
Or unpause. Did you see the meme Kai made that I stuck in the Discord?
No, what happened?
Out of a screenshot of us playing.
That's hilarious. I love these characters already. I really do.
It's a good group.
Very good.
Yeah.
We've got like this princess that's just like doing her best, and her guards are just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Like completely unaware. Like she's got a heart of gold and she is trying her best, but just completely unaware of like the scope of anything.
And I feel like Vanessa's just like in the background, just like, I'll kill you fucking both. I don't care.
Do it.
Vanessa's like,
Poison
"I'll
will
burn
kick in
this place
5 more. Hours.
I'll burn this place to the ground. Mila's just like, I really like to draw a map. Can we just finish this up and like leave?
Is there anything else that y'all would like to do in the evening, or y'all want to just sum up and get because we can get through the mornings. That something is going on about sort of a mishmash of somebody feel free to shout because I don't want to go over. But yeah, okay. So the night is sort of a mishmash of trying to get some sleep, and parts of the manor are up. It's clearly that clear that something is going on about the estate, particularly outside with the stables and the like. And as you wake up, breakfast is served. More talk similar from last night. It seems as though this gift giving thing is going to go through. The ceremony will be fairly early in the day. They're not trying to slow walk this thing, at all. And yeah, what are y'all's plans for this? Like trying to find Valentin and navigating this potential conflict.
So I can give Vanessa's. Vanessa first wants to figure out if anyone was to take Valentin or Valentin was to go to someone, who would those people be? If there's either abductors or he's run into someone or defecting. So kind of put my ear to the ground on that. And I've got perks and abilities that help me figure that out, from the Gossip Network perk to, I'm not going to rabble rouse or web of lies necessarily. In I'm the master of deception. I could also disguise myself and kind of slip in. There'll be someone with loose lips eventually.
Are you looking to figure this out like during the ceremony? Are you wanting to like spend the morning going around the estate and then the outpost talking to people? Like what's your general MO for getting this info?
It's kind of going to have to be based on the timing paradigm of if I'm there at some place, our main objective is to find him. So I might as well find out what I can learn about it. So after some light chit chat, where's Valentin? Just that.
Okay.
That's like push him up against the wall.
Right. Wake up early, get an early one in, and then hit the beat the streets bright and early.
The rumor mill. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is anyone going to attempt to tag along or have their own plans for getting the last information you need this morning?
I think Vency would just make sure that Mila has some of the like neutral tones and the extra stuff that Sir Douglas gave them, and not whatever she decided to put on this morning, which I'm sure is lovely, but oh so very, very vibrant.
Yeah. It's quite noticeable. There's some.
She
nice
probably thinks she's dressing down. Like, no, but look, this is
my dull pink.
This is subtle.
All cloth gold.
Just like the fabric's just way too nice. It's like
Exactly. So it sounds like everybody else is sort of like taking the morning and preparing themselves and sort of like getting ready for this ceremony thing. It'll be over by lunchtime, which it ends with the feast, which is appropriate. And it's in that case, the results of sort of Vanessa's outing. Do you mind refreshing me on that perk that you're using so we make sure we
Yes. So let me jump into the book.
In that case, then we can just so Vanessa, you are canvassing the various settlements that are around here because the outpost is like a Hawkwood sponsored sort of settlement, but it's not the only one around here. And so there's quite a few people who are willing to talk and know friends of friends and people of other people, that kind of thing. There's always some way to leverage who you know, and you pretty much hear kind of like the opposite side of the story of Sir Douglas's, which is the folks that live around here in the woods and in the alpine hills. They do report like there's been people and weird sounds and everything, especially from the northern islands north of the outpost. It's been going on for maybe a few months. Someone thought it was a guild interest or something like that. That's, most people hadn't really paid it too much attention until a few days ago, whenever these new reports of blaster weapons and the like began showing up, and just folks are now sort of looking at these old reports in a new light of like, are these the people who are coming around? What are they doing up there? That sort of thing.
Okay. So I gather that any link to Valentin though.
Yes. You hear like the links to Valentin are things like all of them seem, or not maybe all of them, but quite a few of them seem to have strange packages or something, boxes, but they're almost always covered up or encased in something. And that this report of the person who's like covered with high-tech devices has like a lot of cybernetics and seems to be very fluent and like comfortable around these devices. You hear multiple stories of this person, and they all sort of describe the same sort of very curious and enthusiastic and also like not shy or sort of inexperienced at all around these things.
Would that line up with Valentin's psych profile?
Not necessarily that, but the people
individual.
that
Mhm.
yeah, the individuals that he met with, it fits that their description.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I think Valentin has defected to them in the name of superior technology. I'll bring back what I find to the
How
rest of
long
the
do
group.
you press? Like, how long are you working these sort of village networks, going from settlement to settlement, trying to talk to people?
Up until we're planning to leave to go to the outpost. So it's one of those things I would almost Gandalf the Grey, meet them on the road.
Oh,
I came from Bree, the prancing
sure.
pony. Um,
Yeah,
in
if you're
fact,
gonna
they
push it
can
down.
meet me on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. In that case, you're able to get to settlements that are far enough north that there are people who have seen Valentin within the last week as well. You get 2 reports of him being seen traveling with these same people, both sort of rough off-worlder mercenary types
Mhm.
and this technologist of some sort.
All right. I'll write it down in Vanessa's public diary, the one that she hopes gets published one day.
Mhm.
Then I have my secret diary that no one's allowed to find.
And so everybody else is sort of busy themselves in the morning. The entourage leaves Lady Vilma's manor shortly after for breakfast, and arrives at the outpost where the settlement is going to be held. By mid morning or so. Excuse me. And unless there's anything particularly noteworthy or the like that you'd like to do, I'm happy to kind of fast forward through a lot of the diplomatic pageantry and the like of the event. Yeah, seeing lots of nods. All right. Um, so it is indeed a bunch of diplomatic pageantry. This is an exchange of gifts. A lot of them are symbolic and have a sort of deep cultural meaning and the like, in terms of being objects that symbolize oaths of fealty and bonds of loyalty between the empire and these new people who are agreeing to put aside old differences and find a place for themselves inside this newly risen empire. It lasts, an hour-ish or so. Lots of ceremony involved in it. It's really very, nothing as elaborate as a palace, birthday party or something like that, but nevertheless, of some importance. As it winds down, excuse me. As it winds down and the feast begins in earnest, the obligations that you have to fulfill certain imperial obligations are much relaxed. You kind of mix and mingle and the like.
Warg is doing what Warg does, which is finding a corner with the best vantage spot
Mhm.
and just watching everyone and doing his best not to be perceived, because especially at events like this is when um this is when rich people tend to like play around with the battle brother. Just no, just don't.
I'm sticking pretty much like right next to or behind Mila at like any moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was gonna say that Mila doesn't like things like that. Like she doesn't like being around a lot of people. So she was probably like trying to like stay back and just hang out with Vencia, who is like her only friend as far as she's concerned. Is just like wants to like not mingle and be social, even though it's
Mhm.
probably not what's expected of her in a situation like this.
Yeah, yeah. You could mingle, but like everybody wants to say hi to an imperial
It's just like
princess.
I'm just like I also don't want to be perceived.
Jim, am I still on the road or am I there?
You would have been here. You would have joined them before this whole thing.
Same dress as Mila. No, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should clarify. I would not have put Mila in like the
Disguise.
drab disguise
yeah.
until after this.
Yeah. I figured change it.
It's in my bag. It's yeah.
Vanessa is dancing and mingling with everyone. Social butterfly. Life of the party. Promising favors that we may not be able to keep.
Yeah.
Just
The
like better
whole
her than
countryside
me.
is kind of turned out here. There's quite a lot of people, and sort of just once food is served and drink is available, it gets sort of bigger. I think that everybody kept their distance for the first part, but it's grown into quite a large gathering, several hundred people at least, and you've got really it's going to continue for the rest of the day. There's plenty of opportunity for distraction to get out of here if you'd like. But there's also Warwick. You've noticed some not unsavory characters, but there's certainly a lot of people here, and a lot of people who just seem to just come out of the woods and just the country, right? They just sort of step out of a bush or whatever. It sort of like seems as though this place is filled with maybe more people than it first seems obvious when y'all were flying over it yesterday.
Look for off-worlder mercenary types with high tech.
You fill them in on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would fill in Warwick. Only Warwick.
Okay, so as soon as I get the description, if I scope them out in the party, oh god,
Here comes Carlito's way.
I would instead of hanging back in the shadows, if they end up in an area I can't see, he would maneuver to be able to keep eyes on them.
Okay. Let's see. All right. This is
Ooh, it's a roll.
Yeah, remember roll. I think this is
those dicey rolls.
a spot, so that's observe plus perception. I actually found the action booklet, which is super handy.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Observe plus perception.
And there's a crowd here. There's a lot of people, so there will be resistance on this roll, a resistance of 2.
Okay, so that means my target is 11.
Hey, there you go.
Get that. I love that too. That's a beautiful 2. Look at that 2 go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I do believe you can buy them down. You buy down resistance 1 to 1, 2 victory points, 2 resistance. And sure enough, you can see 2 off-worlder mercenaries just sticking out like sore thumbs with a group of locals. And they seem to be kind of like, taking in the sights. They've got drinks, they're blending in. But they're also not like the only off-worlders. They're just the only ones that sort of fit the description of off-worlders you were looking for.
So yeah, he's just keeping his eye on them. And he would try and he's gonna do that thing where you try and burn a hole in the back of someone's head so that they notice you, and he's doing that at Vincia. And if looks could talk, it's hey, look over there.
Yo.
And he's just gonna keep hawking them.
All right. Are you? I mean, Vince, it's in balls in your court at this point. If you feel somebody staring daggers at you,
probably. I think they're kind of someone who's a little bit on high alert. most of the time, and doubly, I think, trying to keep an eye specifically on Brother Ward, because you were just in her room last night, and that's a little weird. So I think
I don't think it's that weird.
well, then, and this is where they differ. So I think that there would be a moment where they just kind of are, scanning the crowd, looking for Brother Wark, who was last they saw in the shadows over there, and then they look and you're like way over there. And I think that they would have been around enough, like, military or military minded people to know that the brother be looking very hard somewhere and would follow that to wherever it is.
Yeah. With Warwick pointing them out, you're able to sort of spot a group of, there's two off-worlder mercenary types. Like, it's just sort of like little things, a patch here, a piece of gear there, that kind of thing, to give them away.
Yeah. And I have experience with the musters, so if it's anything like X muster or anything like that, I would probably at least vaguely recognize it.
Yeah, they definitely have experience with the muster as well. But they're with a group of, what look to be similarly mercenary types, but locals. And in this case, give me just a second, because y'all have been looking at them for a while and trying to get the attention. I want to see if they have noticed you, noticing them. And then I want to get to someone who is desperately trying to talk to Mila.
Oh, no.
I'm rolling against a 10 here.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Almost fumble, but not. They so far have not noticed you noticing them. But Lord Ian's son has noticed Mila. And he comes over bright-eyed and just full of honest and fervent excitement that someone in the family's, are you here for long? Are you going to stay? This is a wonderful planet, and I think that you should stay quite a while. We can host you at our house. We can take you on walks in the hills. Have you ever been in the hills up north? Just like that.
I want to stare over Mila, because I think that Vencia, I always visit Vencia a bit taller than Mila.
Yeah. I also,
yeah, and I think there's just this there's this cinematic moment where they're talking, and then there's just Vencia just like turns real slow and just glares at this child who is here just for a little bit too long, so that they know that I see them and I don't want them here.
Yeah. Like 17, but someone who's always, acts like someone's always treated them like they're older than they are. It's just, he hasn't stopped talking.
Yeah. And I think like it's like a combination of Mila just not being able to get a word in because he has not stopped talking, and also just because she doesn't really know what to say. I think Vencia could definitely pick up on the fact that like her body language is like
it's weird.
Very weird. Like not like definitely like uncomfortable. And she just kind of like waits for him to like need to catch a breath. And just like, we're not staying too long. This is just kind of like a stop over to visit, to say hi. We do have somewhere else to be.
Oh yeah. No, that's okay. I assumed you'd be back later or something. It's just so rare that we get to meet other people in the family, and I really, it's you, like that's really cool. Yeah, he seems very just like
super fan,
starstruck.
Yep, it's me. But yeah, we'll be around. And I'm gonna like look at Vencia like for like a couple days.
So it will be a very short amount of time.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're staying, I can show you around. I know all the places that there are to go, and there's a lot of great things to do around here.
I think Her Highness is going to be very busy while she's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe we can have our secretaries. We can get in touch with each other and have schedule.
They can contact me. I will let Her Highness know.
Oh, Oh, of course. I think he's starting to get some kind of hint because he does
Good.
seem like
I'm
that he's
trying to drip
like
so many
follow along.
hints, like drown him in hints.
Right. I'll
Well,
stay
so
here
within my station at least.
I'll stay here then and wait, and I'll yes, have fun. And yeah, he was totally going to try to follow you guys around and tag along.
I mean, congratulations. You inspired Ward to do something that he never does. It's just he's trying to like communicate this whole like, hey, we have to take the targets, and then this happens. And he rolls his eyes. Like, he doesn't do it. It's just like, are you kidding me? Like a 17
amazing. Incredible.
There's just like a moment where like if he's making it clear that he's like not going anywhere, I'm like trying to think of like, is there something she could like ask of him that's going to take him a while to do, to try to be like, now's our chance.
If you'd like to not be rude, Vanessa could
possibly
deal with him for you.
I think like I am an independent woman. I'm not an independent woman at all. I am completely dependent upon those around me to survive. However, I think I'll just like be like, if you wouldn't mind, since like this is our first time here, if you could, I keep hearing about these desserts. I cannot remember what they're called, but we didn't have them last night at the feast, and I don't see them here, but I've heard that that's what.
Oh, yes, the pudding or the cake?
Oh, the cake.
Oh, yes. Yes,
so
certainly.
I don't know if you could go try to get one of those for me, or for us. Yes, for me and Vencia.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. In that, like, I absolutely can. That you can count on me to get this for you.
Perfect. And we'll don't worry about it if it takes a lot of time. Like, we'll just be here waiting. We're not going anywhere.
I won't be long at all.
But just make sure they're fresh, though. Right? Yes.
Fresh. No,
okay.
They can't be not fresh. Yes, certainly. And he is like off.
This poor child.
Oh no.
Like,
I'm just like, I am not good at this. I say to Betsy, just like,
I think you did fine given the circumstances. We do have something, and I'm going to dart. Well, okay, not dart eyes, but like move eyes towards Brother Warwick and give Warwick like a look of, what do you want to do? What do you want to do about them?
is everything all something like, I'm leaning like a bad something?
I certainly hope not.
Oh. Well, I feel like we don't really have a lot of time. I don't know how long these cakes take to make or anything, but we should find Vanessa and be on our way before they get back.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just kind of like continuing to look like I'm scanning the crowd, but 100% keeping an eye on Warwick. Be like, what do you want to do? How do you want to handle this?
Warwick is now advancing on the on them.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. I will tell Mila, I would do I see Vanessa anywhere? The baronet?
Yes, she's taking a piano solo, letting everyone see just how dang talented she is.
Fantastic.
You ever see Gosford Park? It's like
love
Ivor
that for her.
Novello, and she's singing a song and
Love
wooing.
that for her.
Okay. I will guide / gesture Mila that direction and say, I think Warwick and I need to take care of something. And I will nod towards Vanessa and just kind of like give you like a little like pat in that direction.
Are you going to be okay?
I'll be fine. You watch out for yourself though.
Oh, all right. I'll go stay with Vanessa, then just be safe, okay?
I think Mila is the only person that Vencia will even remotely smile at towards or anything like that. So you just get like a very small, like knowing like obviously I'm gonna be fine. Like little smirk smile before they turn and head also in the direction wherever Warwick's going.
Yeah, where's Warwick going?
Where is
What-
Warwick going?
Who is
Warwick
Why?
is going to
I'll do you one better. How is Warwick walking?
with a swagger in his step.
Hey,
Hey.
like a roll in his eyes.
He is walking up to our offlanders, mercenary folks.
Yeah.
And he's just going to get their attention. Blessed day to you all.
Yeah, a blessed day to you. Yes.
Pardon my intrusion,
Hmm.
but I believe I may have some questions for the lot of you.
Oh, is it well, we're only recent converts. This is one of the locals talking. We're only recent converts. I'm not sure that we're up on our doctrine. So they seem like it's a joke, like it's a party. They're like laughing and cutting up and things. Yeah.
As much as I wish that this were strictly a mission, a conversation of my mission, or rather, this is one more in line with your recent activities on this world.
Oh, these guys here, come on, like we met them a few days ago. Like, is it we can mingle? We can talk, right?
Absolutely. And again, my apologies for taking up your time. It's just that there have been some rather disconcerting events. And I believe there's a small but reasonable chance that you and your friends may have been involved.
I don't know what should be talking about. First off, there's all kinds of things that go on around here. How did you know it was us? Come on, let us buy you a drink and then we can. You must have us mistaken for someone else.
As much as I appreciate the offer, I do not drink.
Well, some milk.
Water would be my preference, but alas, the conversation must come first, and I hope that it can be an amenable conversation.
Yeah. So even this is going on, and one of the off-worlders steps up. And correct my memory, I'm trying to remember, but was it Warwick and Vanessa who were at the Star Dock had talked to those two folks while
Mhm.
one of them is this guy.
Oh, how lovely.
And he kind of steps up and is like, I don't know, fellas, and he sort of like moves his way to the back. Seems our brother battle here has something specific that he wants to ask us.
How
Something
far
that's-
away am I at this point, by the way?
I mean, you're
was heading
close
this
enough to
way.
see them and see what's going on, but not close enough to hear.
Okay.
Like, like a few seconds away if you keep, if you move there quickly.
Okay.
You want to make a scene out of it?
Not yet. I want to get close enough that I can hear, though.
Okay. All right, you can. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not hiding my presence at all.
Sure. Yeah, this is going on in the
But-
middle of people walking all
yeah.
around them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sort of like holds his arms out to Warwick to show you that he doesn't have any, he's not armed or doesn't have any apparent weapons, right? And it's like, we're just here to enjoy the celebration. Come on. And he does like one of those, like right on Warwick's, come on, lighten up.
I don't believe in serendipity, and I've run into you 2 times the church would call this providence. We have been on the trail of some rather unfortunate events, and I believe that by my presence here, you know what it is that I am looking to learn. I would hope that you would give me the answers willingly. I would hope that you would make this process expedient.
Uh, he's trying to run. Do you have any kind of like anybody have a something that gives them an edge in initiative?
So I don't know about that, but I do have the Battle Brothers martial arts.
Okay.
I'm adept at that, and I was preparing, or I should have said something, but he would
There's an optional
immediately.
rule for to let Battle Brothers go first too, as well.
Yeah. That came up last session too.
Yeah. So you said you were preparing to.
So yeah, I know Montag, which is their which is the Battle Brothers martial arts. And as soon as he goes to run, I would just like to attempt to put him in a wrist lock.
Mhm. Mhm.
And let me pull up the page because I had it just a second ago.
So normally in initiative, anyone that has any kind of thing that like lets them jump into the fray, into the action first, there's no, as far as I can tell, there's not like a list of these are initiative advantages or edges, or forget what they call them or not. It's just like, does it seem in this context like this would give you an edge in the situation? I think it's appropriate that Warwick has an edge in this situation.
Yeah,
and even Vencia, given your backgrounds and the context.
I would like to use one of my VPs to get a +2 to a goal for the fight skill action.
Okay.
To succeed in just kind of grabbing this guy's wrist.
Yep.
Ooh, fight action. Oh wow. Okay. And let's fight and strength. So target is 12.
8. Let's say he's going to attempt to resist, and this is my first time using these, so we're going to walk through.
I have something that I can gain initiative. The initiative edge. I do. I also am trained in martial arts. I have the iron heel though, and I can spend I can spend a VP to gain initiative. So basically, how I'm seeing this, I do want to resolve what's going on. But as soon as Brother Warwick begins any motion, Vencia is going to try not to make you. Well, I mean, Vencia doesn't care about making a scene actually.
This guy's about to make a scene.
Yeah.
All right. So there were 2 of them, and when the one runs, the other one's going to run as well. So are you going after?
I'll go whatever one Warwick isn't going.
Okay.
At yeah.
All right.
My aim is to tackle. I think because the iron heels are a down and dirty commando style that stresses kicks and holds. So I'm trying to get them onto the ground.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So I'm refreshing my memory on dodges real quick. Excuse me. So I might just take a second because the first guy is going to use his reflexive action to attempt to dodge your hit, Warwick.
Cool.
Daisy, do you recall where exactly what happens when you? I think it's in Victory Point section of the rules.
Victory Point section of the rules and the Game Master book or the character book?
The character book.
So character book, we can walk through this, and we're looking to talk about spending VP. Is that what we're looking to?
We're looking to talk about spinning VP, and here it is, self-defense, which is boosting resistance is what I'm looking for.
Okay, so
spinning
VP starts on page 22. And essentially you can achieve various effects with the VP.
Right.
One VP
I'm-
per plus one goal. Are you looking to increase resistance?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think what you do, if I'm following it correctly, is when you evade, you make a defensive action, and that generates VP that you can then use to bump up your resistance.
Are you looking specifically for the dodge action, like the definition of the dodge action?
Yeah, I
That's
think
on
I
page
should just look
30.
at
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it goes. It's all those things that you said. It just details it a lot better,
Okay,
Mhm.
or a
okay,
lot
good.
more thoroughly, I should say.
Thank you. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, I was like, I knew I saw it somewhere. Yeah, okay. So in this case, it's rolling vigor plus dexterity, and it generates VP. So all right, I'm good. And he's rolling against a 9, so we'll see how this goes. Nope.
Oof.
Womp womp womp.
No, he tries, right? Like, he thinks he's a slick badass, but not so much. And you you have your 8 victory points against Beef's dodge roll.
Oh my god, this is about to be real bad for this
Nasty,
dude.
right?
This is about to be real nasty for this dude.
Undertaker choke slam. Here it comes.
Let's
Tombstone
see
Pile
what
Driver.
happens. Give it to me.
Yeah, while he has the wrist in a lock, and I love that Montauk, the Battle Brothers martial arts, is all about like subtle protective moves, whereas Vincius is just like scary motherfucker.
Oh, you called them out so fast.
Oh, that's great.
He's just gonna lean closer to the dude's ear and go, I really hope that you make the rest of this process as painless as possible. If you continue to resist, I'm going to shatter your wrist, and then I'm going to break your kneecap. And if you continue to resist, the ending of our meeting will be me snapping your neck.
He's just like screaming. Like, I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to be screaming like that. He's just like, like wrist all behind his head. Yeah. You take it. You get the impression it's a yes. Let's see.
I'm gonna tackle this fool. That's my intention. Is to stop them, because I don't want to pull out a weapon because there's way too many people here right now. But I want to tackle this fool who's trying to dip.
Yeah. And they also don't seem armed either. Like,
cool.
That's
good.
They are trying to run and
awesome.
So yeah. Go for it.
Okay. So as part of the martial arts art thing, I can spend DP for a couple of things.
Yeah.
One of them. Do you have to spend VP before or after the successful roll?
If it's to do something, you have to spend that VP to initiate it. So yeah.
You have to overcome the resistance first for it to be a successful roll.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, because I have an effect that neutralizes 2 ranks of your opponent's strength-based resistance to your grapple maneuvers. and so I would like to spend it at the point that it becomes relevant, whether it is now or in a moment when I try to grapple this fool to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say so, because you're trying to tackle him. That looks like a takedown.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like he is going to use a reflexive action to try to get out of the way.
Okay.
But so that's going to be dexterity. But if he's if you grapple him, he's going to have to resist with strength, and that penalty will apply there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would like to try to take down then.
Okay. Did you already roll?
I have not rolled.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll so we see. We got, because he's going to oppose as well.
Can you remind me what I am rolling?
Yeah, so in this case, it looks like it's going to be, this is the fight skill coupled with strength. That's for I'm assuming it's the grapple maneuver, but I don't know if
I believe so.
special martial arts have something other than what's in the action booklet?
Not anything other than what I've already described as the thing I expend. Cool. So my target number is 17.
Wow.
Your friend has a 10 in strength. Got a 13.
All right. So even if I crit, I'm not going to generate that many victory points. But we'll see. No, I almost botched it. 2 attempts to dodge and does not with a 19.
Amazing.
Yeah, so he's on the ground and the other guy's screaming as Warwick's got his wrist bent in an uncomfortable position behind his head. Are you going to attempt to secure him somehow? Because right now Vinci is just sort of
yes, I would like to as part of like this situation, I want to try to secure him as best I can. I don't think that they would have any sort of literal personal restraints, but I think either on this person there's like a belt or some loose something that they want to try to use to because I also have another perk that's called Ingenious. Let me double check to see what that is, because I think that was something too. These perks, y'all, let's talk about this system. These perks, real cool.
Yeah, there's you get a lot of like narrative control with these.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Okay, okay, so Ingenious literally says you know how to turn the sudden windfalls of daily life into a long-term gain, and it just lets me get extra.
I wish I had that.
Yeah. It just lets me get
you can
extra
convert
benefits
3 VP into a weird point.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I spent my primary action on a reflex action, so don't really get a turn this round. He's tackled. We would be at the top of the round, which I suppose now everyone, like that first one's kind of like, oh God, what's happening? But now everybody's like, there's a fight. Some people are excited, cheering it on. Others are kind of trying to get out of the way. There's definitely a commotion.
Vanessa's playing battle music on the piano now. Final Fantasy just full in.
Incredible.
Right. And then the rest of them are trying to run as well. Like, look, y'all singled out these two, and so it's like no one else has come out of there. So the other like 5 or 6 of them are trying to get out of there and flee. How does Vincia subdue her opponent?
I would preferably like to restrain them. If I part of me just wants to knock this sucker out. But I don't know if I can do that without like really hurting him. Okay, you know what they're gonna do? They're going to I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna take out their shock stick and they're gonna try to shock them to the point where they're just gonna stay there and they're not gonna go. So they'll just pull it out, flick on the shock effect, and just like
yeah.
Basically,
I'm not even gonna have you roll for that, because like you're with a near fumble on their part and they're not necessarily prepared to fight. Like if you bust out a weapon and start shocking them, then they just like go limp. I'm assuming.
Cool. And then I'll just go and like I want to my goal is to do that quickly and then try to get to where the rest of them are going, either pursue them or try to take down as many as I can.
Okay.
As non-lethally as I can, because talking to people is better sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. So one of them's knocked out. We've got another in that's sort of in a hold. What's Mila doing during all this initial commotion?
Be surprised you to know. Mila's not a fan of fighting. Nor does she know how to hold her own in a fight. I think like when things like start, I think like the whole time like she was watching where Vincia went the whole time, like even as she's like standing near Vanessa, who's playing beautiful music on the piano. She's just like trained on it, and there's like a moment where like things really start popping off, and Mila just is like, should we do something?
They have it handled. That's what they're paid for.
Okay, so we just stay here.
Where it's safe, and they will report back. And if
Okay.
they come closer and happen to evade the good brother and the strong hand that you've hired, I'm prepared, and I reveal in my cloak that I have a blade ready. Alas, fair princess, I shall defend thee.
Oh.
That's in here, my
I think Vencia's got it handled.
There's other people
Fair.
coming to help, now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
oh, for
Vencia's
sure.
got it handled. They're the
And there-
best.
And there's no need to pull the blade.
All right,
So Vincia, you're going after another one as well?
Yes. Yeah,
Seven
I'm
in
just
one
kind
blow.
of. Yes.
Let's resolve that. And Warwick,
Awesome.
you're keeping yours sort of locked down.
I am going to ask them, are you going to be responsible with your feet and stay still, or do I need to collect them?
No, I won't go anywhere. I promise. Like, why would you do that?
I'm trusting you. Consider it an act of faith. But if you show that you aren't responsible enough, they will belong to the church. And then I'm going to let his wrist go, and I'm going to walk after Vincia.
All right. Yeah.
Now I'm just imagining a room of feet just sitting in the church.
What is going on?
Everyone's got their hobbies.
Exactly. All right. Okay. Vinci, I think you'll be first in this exchange. There's, they were trying to scatter. They're trying to run. They have a better sense of where they're going, but they're not all. They've got a slow one that you could catch up to easily.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have to look at what my other weapons do, because as has been previously mentioned, I have a few, and I want to make sure that this one won't just murder someone if I fire it. I don't think it will. It has a stun. It's basically a stun gun, I think.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I have two weapons that won't immediately kill people, and then I have two that will absolutely wreck shop.
What are you trying to do? You're trying to just like wing them so that they.
Yeah. So there's you said there was like 5 or so.
Mhm.
What I would want to try to do is pop some stun shots from my stunno gunno. In a couple of them, while like getting in melee range of some of them to bap them with my stunning stick.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So movement is something that you do as you're firing. So this is a shoot action to get the guy. And I'm going to say, because of the crowds, there is a bit of a penalty. I'll let you know what it is. Just a moment.
Perfect. So this is the first gun maneuver.
Yeah. There we go.
Who knows how to gun?
Let's see. So I'm going to say it has a resistance of 4. It's going to be hard to shoot them.
Okay.
Because of the movement and the other people, but they're still pretty close, so it is possible to get a good shot off.
Okay.
So that's a resistance of 4.
Okay. I have a gun thing.
I believe it's an
there you are
on your sheet.
Yeah. Right. I have a perk called marksmanship.
Mhm.
which is very good. I'm just double checking to see what I can do if it's anything before I do anything. Okay, I can spend 1 to give me a +2 on my shoot skill action, which I would love to do.
Yep.
Okay. There's also something. All right. There's one other thing called Gunstorm, which I feel like is applicable here.
I love it.
I would lose the initiative. I would lose the initiative edge if I had it. This is reading verbatim. Attempt to shoot skill attack. If successful and your gun's rate of fire is 2 or more, which I believe it is, it's 2. I can attempt an immediate bonus primary action shot. Essentially just like put.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I would like
they're just running. They're not doing anything else. So this would be like you taking a knee and
cool
off a few or something.
Yeah. So I'll spend 2 VP if I can do that to get a +2 to the goal for the shoot skill, and then also that one.
I like it. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So shoot. So remind me again, I'm rolling shoot and what else?
So they're within short range, so you're using your shoot plus dex.
Plus dex. Fantastic. So that is 10. Now with guns, there's a thing called TL, and I don't remember what that is. Oh, tech level. Tech level. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. Certain armors protect better or worse against certain tech levels, like a bullet's going to go right through just
perfect
basic plate armor kind of thing.
Okay, and I get a +1 for that, which makes my total goal a 13.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is not bad. Got a 9.
Boom, yes. Yeah. So 4 of that goes off to pay off the resistance, giving you 5 left over.
Huzzah. I love victory points. They're so very good.
Yeah, I really like that. It's really cool. So I think, like, in the interests of both our own time and the narrative, that Vencia, takes aim with her shock pistol and fires off a few volleys at them, and another 2 of the people trying to flee sort of like stop convulsions and temporarily disabled. And I think this would be a good place for us to call it this week, as our heroes have uncovered more of this conspiracy, which seems to haunt a quiet little backwater. Really, I don't see why anybody would want to come here and cause trouble at all. But we'll see next time of how much more they can uncover. But for now, let's go around and see how everybody's doing, what they're up to, and where we can find them online. And we'll take the same order. Megan, why don't you start us off?
All right. Hi, I'm Megan. I have been Mila and will continue to be Mila, I guess, for the rest of the series. You can find me most places. You can find a person on the internet at Megan Lynn FTW. You can find me streaming every Monday with the wonderful folks of No Initiative over on the twitch.tv/chromatic chimera. Mondays at 6:30 Eastern, we play Quest in our game Quest the Soaring City, which we're entering into our final season, which is really exciting. You can also find me on the Protean City Comics podcast in their comics line, The Incidentals, where I play a very shy and lovely superhero knight. And then you can also find me at the end of the month on let me check my calendar, the 24th on twitch.tv/chromatic chimera on my show Unprepared, where I facilitate jamless and prepless games for some of my friends. And also I'm an indie game designer, and you can find any of my games at meganlynnftw.itch.io.
Awesome.
And that's
very
me.
cool. Very cool. And Maria.
Hello, it's me again, Maria. I can be found where the internet is sold at Happy Capture on mostly Twitter, but I do occasionally do Instagram and the other places. You can also find me here on Twitch Tuesday through Thursdays on the same channel, or Happy Capture, where I stream a variety of things: art, video games, chill talks, and cool vibes. Other things that I am currently involved in: Tuesday evenings, I am over on Dice Priori, which is a TTRPG community playing Monster of the Week. We are in our final arc. We're really within our last like 3 to 4 sessions. So things are really coming to a head, and it's going to be very good and very sad and full of the end of the world. So do check that out if you can. I'm also part of the Mythos Mystery Society, which is another collective group of my very good friends who primarily do comedic and scary TTRPGs and games and things of that nature. We are getting ready to do a Cyberpunk Red spin-off one-shot on the 14th that I'm going to be a part of. Time, I don't remember. Late in the evening Eastern Standard Time. But you can check out my socials to see what times for that. And then the very last thing is I am going to be guesting on the Outlaws Network for their podcast Outlaws and Old Ones, which is an entirely improv comedy, horror Cthulhian Wild West thing where everyone makes everything up, everything is improvised, even the GM. The GM improvises everything, so it's very, very good. They're very good people. Come and support. That'll be sometime in the next 2 weeks or so. It'll be very soon, so keep your eyes out for all those cool things.
Very cool. Very cool. Excellent. Daisy, you're up.
Hi, everyone. You can find me on Twitch at Daisy Plays. I stream things every now and then. I'm currently designing a visual novel, which is about a Ukrainian potato farmer, and she gets letters from time to time. Yeah. Normally, sometimes I put balonies in this outro, but that's actually my next project. I'm ghostwriting like 7 comic books right now, but you'll never know that it's me, but I'm writing them. I can't really promote them because I'm ghostwriting. Damn, that defeats the purpose. But I'm proud of my work. And then you'll actually find me again here running a Japanese RPG, tabletop RPG called Picaresque Roman, a Requiem for Rogues. Noir's going to be in that. Jonathan Pruitt, Lynn, apologies, Lynn, and other friends of ours, Little Cup of Joe, too, will be back, and we're going to do a one-shot as part of their crowdfunding campaign. And that's a PvP RPG where everyone goes hard in the paint to be the top rogue by the end of it.
Awesome. And Noir. I think
There's the mute button. Hi, everybody. I'm Noir. Sometimes I don't know where the mute button is. And then other times I play characters that collect feats. You can find me all over the internet as The Noir Enigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I've got a really packed schedule, so just bear with me. Every Monday, you can find me over on Roll Together for Andor. We're coming up quickly to the series finale. There'll be a bunch of tears. It'll be a good time. And then you can also on Mondays, you can find me over on Follow Black Cats Gaming for Curse Captains of Cthulhu, where I play a spooky pirate exorcist called Papa Sad Soul. And then finally on Monday, yes, that's 3 games on Mondays, you can find me over on Critical Misses, where I GM a game called Kingsguard that takes place in the homebrew world of Gloria, a setting that I have been playing for the last 20 years. It's been a great, great time. Over on Tuesdays, you can find me over on Bards and Barbarians for Outbreak Undead. The zombie apocalypse happened during a comic book convention. Don't worry, Carrie's is safe. Then on Wednesdays, we've got Hex Crawl over on Follow Black Cats Gaming again, and then Scarlet Citadel on Faeforged Academy. On Thursdays, it's Trouble in Techburg, our Kids on Bikes game over on Pixel Circus. And then on Fridays, I sleep in theory. Saturday mornings, I have a morning show called Morning Ritual. Our guest for this week is Werewolf Fields, Norden Ali. We have just a slate of truly amazing guests. August 21st, we've got Chris Hislop. September 4th, we've got Sharif Jackson. September 11th, we got B Zelda. And then September 18th, I'm going to be at Gen Con, hopefully doing Morning Ritual live with some even more fun folks. So that's me in a nutshell. Thumbs up.
You're a busy bee.
Wow.
You're doing lots of stuff, Noir.
I know.
I didn't even tell you guys about the fact that I do CPP games for Avatar.
Oh,
So if you want to play an Avatar game, you can book me.
Awesome.
Who
Very
needs sleep?
cool. Yeah. Well, I just do like one thing, right? You guys can come and check me out on Wednesdays. I am,
Gosh,
right.
you
Yeah.
do half a thing. There's another host.
There's
No,
a
it's-
whole, yeah. It's just a whole.
Hey, when you do that one thing so well, though, you only
So
gotta
good.
do it.
That's true. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Appreciate it. Yes, I am over on WebDM's channel on Wednesdays where we're talking all things tabletop RPGs, getting you inspired for your games. And I'm currently, my Pendragon game is on hiatus while our GM moves to Ireland. So I will be picking that up at some point. So if you follow me on socials, you'll find out when that is, when I know when it's going to be. And so, yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed today's game and look forward to the next one. See y'all later.